Welcome to the big demo weekend. We're up here in the Lake District at WHEELBASE, and we've got Trek here and Wayne from Trek, and we're going to talk through the Madone. Madone is one of the world's #1 road bikes. It really is one of the definitive bikes, ridden by Lance to 7 Tour de France victories, and then last year by Contador, making it 8 wins. So it's one of the bikes that's really up there, and probably one of the most famous bikes in the peloton. The frame was redone a few years ago, and then there's been some slight tweaks for 2010, so Wayne's going to talk through those. The bike we've got here is also equipped with DI2, which is a new electronic shifting from Shimano, which is an amazing piece of kit, and I think this is going to be really, really big in the future. So there's a few intricacies on the frame that we're going to talk through. I'm just going to hand over to Wayne there to pick some of them out.
Okay, so as Toby says, this is the 6 Series frame, and it picks up and continues on with some of the themes that we brought in last year's 5 Series. The performance of the 5 Series frame from last year is all still here, but there's 2 key areas where we wanted to improve the bike and move it forward. One of those is comfort, and the other one's integration. So along with those, there's a lot of under the hood things going on with the frame. There's some new layout processes we're using some new ways of joining lugs together. But they're all underneath the hood. They're underneath the paintwork, you can't really see those. What you can see, what you can feel, is the comfort we've built into the bike. Last year's bike, very stiff bike, very comfortable to ride, but we wanted to improve that. So we've done a few things. You can see here on the seat stay yoke, it's very, very thin, top to bottom, but very, very wide side to side. So it's keeping the bike, it will allow it to flex up and down slightly, but laterally from side to side, very, very stiff. So very stiff pedalling side to side.
Yeah, but so when you're out the saddle honking on the pedals, it's staying stiff.
The bottom bracket, you see there, we've got what we call BB90. The actual frame goes down to the full width of the bottom bracket, goes right out to the outside of the cranks. Again, down tube very wide all the way, and then the chainstay yoke's very, very wide. So from side to side, when you're pedaling really hard, very, very stiff. We've also again given some comfort back again in some other areas. The seat tube itself is asymmetric this year. So as you're on the saddle, you're actually allowing the seat tube to flex and the seat tower on the top here to flex back, and it actually gives you some comfort underneath your bum. So rear end of the bike, extremely stiff, side to side, but very, very comfortable. We did that same thing with the front as well. Inside, you can't really see here, but we use a tapered steerer tube. Very, very stiff, very, very torsionally, very stiff on there. But actually we want to give you some more comfort. So what we've done, we've taken that steerer tube, which is a conical shape, and we've pinched it front to back, making it an oval shape. So from side to side again, very, very stiff, but it allows a bit of movement on that fork, fore and aft. So if you hit a pothole, hit a bump, you just get a bit of vibration reduction on the front there. It's a bit more comfortable under your hands. So overall, it's got the same performance, if not a bit more than the 5 Series, but it's actually a more comfortable bike than the 5 Series last year.
I know what's very popular with customers is the seat cap that you have here. Yeah. That it kind of it has the ride and the feel of an integrated seat post, but you've got the adjustability on it. And these seat caps are available in different lengths and different laybacks, but we can move the saddle up and down by a good long way, allowing the rider just to tweak the saddle point to perfection without having to sacrifice just one cut and one shot at it. And plus, if you're looking to obviously resell a bike in future years, you've got that ability to adjust for different rider heights. So that's a real nice feature. On the 6 Series, the seat mass has also been made circular. Is there a reason for that?
It's a lot to do with comfort as well. Just actually you'll get a bit more flex out of the seat tower. So, as I say, comfort was a key thing. And with the aero post on there, you just didn't get quite the same flex. With the round tube on there, it just means it's a bit more comfortable under your bum, which is the important thing.
And this model here we're looking at is one of Wayne's demo fleet, and it's a really fly colour, and it looks amazing. This is a Project 1 colourway, is it? This is a new scheme from Trek being launched this year?
Yeah, what we've got with Project 1 this year is you've basically a customer come along and order any sort of combination they want. We offer 5 stock off-the-shelf colours, but then within that you've still got the choice to choose which wheel colours you want, which wheel set you want, which group set, the widths and lengths of things. Basically with buying a Trek bike this year, rather than just going to the shop floor and say I'll have that one, you get the choice to actually custom build the frame and the parts that go on there before you even buy it. You make your choices, and the bike gets delivered to you exactly how you ordered it. So it's not a case of you having the same colour bike as the guy next to you in the peloton. every single bike will be different because everyone's made their own choices.
Yeah, it's a very nice feature. You go onto trekbikes.co.uk and you link through onto their Project One builder. It does all the pricing for you. You can select everything and hit that perfect budget as well. Other frame colourways available is the Livestrong colourway, very, very popular, and also the new Radio Shack colourway as well. That's also available on the website. And then just one final thing with this bike. I mean, we've touched briefly on it. This is Di2, so this is comes with the new Shimano electronic gear system. I'm yet to really get to grips with it yet, but I know Wayne's had some good experience of it already. So I'm just going to get Wayne just to kind of run through some of the key features on it.
Well, the Di2 on this bike is only one part of the story. The integration overall is the main thing. When this bike was designed, it was designed to take in all those new technologies coming into the industry, things like sensors, things like group sets and the new electronic group set from Shimano, and actually make them work fully with the frame rather than having them as add-ons you bolt on afterwards. We wanted the frame to work with those things. So if we look on the frame here, we'll start with the sensors. This bike has a fully integrated what we call geo-trap sensor. It's inside the stay itself. It can be purchased after you buy the frame. It just slots inside, so there's no zip ties hanging, holding the sensor on. There's no wires, there's no little arms flailing around. It's fully integrated, fully smooth, and it's completely aero on there as well. And that's ANT+, so it's compatible with all your existing systems like Garmin, like SRM, like PowerTap. So that's one place where we've integrated it. And then obviously the Di2 is the next, I suppose, most obvious place. All the cable routing on this bike is fully internal, and it's all designed from the factory to be able to Di2 compatible. So as all the wires go into the frame, all the holes are made so that the cables can go inside. There's no drilling required. The battery doesn't have to sit on the traditional Shimano Boss. We've actually got a place on the BB where the battery will fit. So from the drive side of the bike, you can't even see the battery. It's fully hidden behind the chain set. It's in line with the rear wheel, so it's nice and aero, and it's all protected there away from any impacts or anything like that. So really clean, smooth looking bike, and the Di2 there all fully integrated into it. The Di2 itself is a fantastic product from Shimano. Rather than having with the big things, rather than having to make those big heavy shifts, especially on the front mech, all you have is two very small buttons where your normal shift would be, and just one small tap on that will get the mech to move. And on the front, it's especially impressive. It doesn't matter what gear you're in, how hard you're pushing down on those pedals. If you make a shift with the button here, a very small push, that front mech will just push that chain up regardless of what you're doing. It's extremely, extremely efficient. It also will self-trim. As you're going through the block at the back, usually you'd have to trim with the front mech slightly. The Di2 knows that the chain's getting close, it knows it needs to trim, and it'll automatically do that for you. So you only have to worry about shifting with the front, don't have to worry about trimming.
I think that's one of the things I've noticed from the short rides that I've done on Di2 is the front mech trim. Is it so quiet, you have a very, very silent ride, you don't get that irritating front mech rub. That's a really, really nice feature. And I think setup's quite straightforward, isn't it? I think once you set your high and your lows.
Yeah, the stops are the same as it would be with a normal bike. All the adjustment effectively is done with a virtual barrel adjuster, which is by the use of this little button on here. But once it's set up, there's no cables to stretch or to get clogged up with grime. Once it's set up, it just keeps going. It stays perfect every time.
And a lot of questions is the lifetime of the shift. Like how long the battery will last, basically.
Well, we're told about 2,000 miles, but obviously it depends how many times you're shifting, because it's the shift that wears the battery out, obviously. I'll be honest with you, these demo bikes have been ridden for many, many events, and I've never charged them yet, so it's very positive on the battery lasting front.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Wayne. Thank you.